You are logged on to the Computer Corner Show. I'm your host, Phil Shortell, the lead instructor at Computer Corner in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And with me here today is Carol, one of the owners and founders of Computer Corner. Hello, Carol.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, if your Facebook is finicky, your browser is broken, or you're freaked by phishing, listen to our podcast. We have information on lots of things that we hope will make your computing life much easier.
The Computer Corner Show is now available via a link from the Computer Corner website at www.compcorner.com and also on YouTube.
Now, some people listening to us on YouTube may not know anything about Computer Corner, so let us tell you a bit about us.
Computer Corner has been in business in New Mexico since 1983, in Albuquerque, that is, offering computer sales, service, training, and electronic recycling to home users, businesses, and state, local, and federal government.
We say that Computer Corner is high-tech with a human touch because customer service is our primary focus.
We hold numerous contracts with government agencies, which include those with the state of New Mexico, Rio Rancho Public Schools, and Los Alamos Laboratory. We also serve many home users and small businesses with on-site services, including network services. Today we have several topics, and we're going to start with one that we absolutely must talk about, and that's the end of Windows 7 support, which was on January 14th.
Yep.
We would be remiss if we didn't talk about that for just a little bit.
And then we'll be talking about something that will be of interest to most people, at least any of you who use any social media sites like Facebook or Twitter. There's been a lot of hacking going on, and we'll talk about the most common scams and how to prevent becoming a victim of those.
Let's say farewell to our old friend Windows 7.
Goodbye.
It was probably our most favorite operating system ever, but we must realize that Microsoft will eventually move us beyond Windows 7 and into Windows 10, whether we want to or not.
Although we've talked about this before, the end of Windows 7 support isn't about supporting problems you might experience with your computer. It's about Microsoft discontinuing security updates for Windows 7, thus making your Windows 7 computer more susceptible to hacking.
Obviously, this wasn't a situation where January 15th came around and your Windows 7 computer suddenly stopped working. It's more about what may happen down the road.
As time goes on, more and more vulnerabilities will be exposed in Windows 7, and hackers will exploit these. Some for malicious reasons, like looking for banking information, and other hackers, well, they do it just for the sport of it.
Amazing.
Isn't it?
Unless you're willing to pay Microsoft to continue to receive those patches and security updates, you won't get them anymore. Although I'm sure you will get those pesky reminders that say you should upgrade to Windows 10.
Yeah, and we really think you should. Carol has written several blogs about this because there are several things to consider. Your older Windows 7 computer may not be compatible with Windows 10.
Correct. And your older computer may be getting so old that it's time to get a new computer anyway.
And whether you opt to upgrade to Windows 10 or to buy a new Windows 10 computer, you have to consider the data on your old hard drive and your application software program.
We don't want to repeat too much of what we've covered in the past podcasts, so I'm going to point you to my blogs that Phil mentioned. You can find them, of course, at www.compcorner.com. They're short, but hopefully will provide you with some good information about what to do when you're either upgrading your current computer to Windows 10 or buying a new Windows 10 computer.
Eventually, Windows 10 will be your only choice when your old computer finally fails, and it's always good to be proactive rather than reactive.
Right.
So we really are recommending Windows 10 for your current or possible brand new computer.
They've worked out the problems of the early releases of Windows 10. They really have. And there are many great features. You know, at Computer Corner, we can even set your Windows 10 desktop screen to look just like Windows 7. There will still be some changes, of course, and differences,
yes.
but it will look familiar
And
anyway.
of course, we do offer Windows 10 classroom training as well as one-on-one tutoring at Computer Corner. Okay, on to our next topic.
So if you have a Facebook page or a Twitter account, we bet you've been approached by a hacker or phisher at some point in time. In fact, as of December of 2019, over 265 million users Facebook pages were exposed in an online database used primarily for phishing.
That's phishing, P-H-I-S-H-I-N-G, which is a term used to describe an impersonation of a service to convince a target to give up their login credentials and other informations.
Now, this website issue wasn't necessarily Facebook's fault. This was a website that acquired all these user accounts, and once Facebook found out, the site was shut down, but not for a few weeks and not until some damages had actually been done.
This wasn't a huge security breach. Fortunately, the website in itself was not dangerous, but if you fell prey to one of the phishing scams, well, that's where the problem is.
So one of the issues that the phishing scams created was that once the hacker got a hold of a Facebook account, they would send messages out to existing friends of that individual, either asking them to friend them again or asking them about some financial opportunity from the government or some other entity.
Yeah, number one step for prevention of phishing scams from anywhere is to be aware when something seems amiss. If you already have a friend on Facebook that seems to be trying to friend you again, it's not your original friend. It's someone else phishing to get info from you.
Absolutely. And if your friend suddenly starts talking to you about investments or money sources, steer clear for sure. Not of your true Facebook friend, of course, but of this secondary friend. But how can you prevent things like this from happening to begin with? Well,
I
we're gonna talk about
myself have had a dozen or more of those already friends asking me to friend it again last year, and I actually got one yesterday from somebody who is a very good friend. So I know, we are friends on Facebook, and we have been for quite a while. But when you get these requests for somebody you already know as your friend, do what I do, just simply ignore them. Additionally, Facebook, along with most social media sites, have security and privacy settings embedded into them, but most people don't know about them or use them for that matter.
For Facebook, you can go to a place called Settings and Privacy, then into Privacy Shortcuts, more privacy settings, and then set all relevant fields to Friends or Only Me.
There's also a section that asks, do you want search engines outside of Facebook to link to your profile? Please mark that as no.
I know it's not so much fun to cruise around in Facebook or other social media sites to learn about the privacy settings. Well, even on your web browser for that matter. But it's well worth spending an hour doing that. And once you're done, you're done.
I just wanted to mention one thing. We record this podcast a day before it actually goes up, usually. And just this morning, I saw a phishing scam hit a Texas school district who shall remain nameless at the moment.
Yeah, I saw that too.
And they got caught to give in $2.3 million.
That's so bad.
Yeah. Well, here's some of the top Facebook phishing attempts so you can watch out for them. Number one to watch for. You get an email asking you to log into your account and recover your password. The email sends you a link which may take you to a page that looks legit, but it's not. Best way to identify this is to hover on the link. But whatever you do, do not click. Then look down at the bottom left of your browser page, and you will see the address that link will go to if you do click. If it is not going to the site the link says it's going to, you know you are being phished. I have 3 browsers on my computer, Chrome, Edge, and Firefox. Well, why I have 3 different browsers on the same computer might be a subject for a future podcast. But anyway, this works the same way in all of them.
I have those same 3 browsers. So, yes, we should talk about that again
It
at
would
some
be a
point.
good one, yeah.
So Facebook and other entities like your bank, Google, and others, they don't send you password reset notices unless you've requested it when you're trying to log in. So if you get one out of the blue, do not act upon it.
Another phishing scam is what they call the ticket scalper event. Some scammers have taken to Facebook to post an event where they're selling tickets, and they're vastly overpriced or may not even exist, the event that they're trying to sell you a ticket to. If you fall for this, you may not be able to recover your money.
Again, this isn't just Facebook that's affected. You could get a pop-up on any page you're browsing on that takes you to another page that looks like a ticket reseller. To prevent being scammed, only buy from places you're familiar with as a legitimate ticket outlet. Don't click on event links from a social media page at all unless you know it's legitimate. Like sometimes when we offer free demonstrations at Computer Corner, I mean, that's legit for
It's
sure.
legit, but even for us, check it.
Right. And again, following Phil's advice, look at the link at the bottom left of the browser screen to make sure you know where that link will really take you.
Of course, I think everyone knows about the scam of the unexpected prize or lottery. Let's say that website that hacked 267 million Facebook accounts had a friend of yours on their list. That friend sends you a message about a sure thing, a sure win, or a prize of some kind. You're more likely to trust a friend on Facebook than in an email. But this is still likely to be a scam.
Let's go back to what Phil was saying about looking at the address again.
It's such a simple thing, and nobody seems to know that it's there.
Right, and that's on the left.
Bottom left corner.
Right, of your web browser. One of the scams over the last few years was a group of hackers calling themselves the Windows Corporation who claimed to be representing your Windows operating system. There's no such thing as the Windows Corporation. Well, at least in the computer world.
I actually have a friend who works for a window company.
Well,
but
sure, that might be the Windows Corporation. But
could be.
In the computer world, it's Microsoft, not the Windows
It's
Corporation.
Microsoft. So looking at that web address and address of any link you may be sent is important. Be aware when you do your online banking. Make a mental note or physical note of the URL of your banking or other important sites such as chase.com. And if you get a link from an entity claiming they are Chase, but the website URL doesn't end with chase.com, beware.
Be careful there, too. Some malicious websites will use something that looks so much like the real website name that it's easy to be fooled. Many years ago, for example, when the Swiffer cleaning products came out, there was a scam by a hacker who sent out info using a link at swifter.com, not Swiffer, but Swifter, giving you these great deals on cleaning products when you registered with them. And it, of course, was a scam.
Needless to say, that was a scam.
Yeah.
It all comes back to being extra careful all the time and trusting your instincts about anything that feels, well, off. I read a book, a really good book that covers this stuff once called The Gift of Fear. Whenever you feel something is not right, you did notice something that makes it not right, but you can't put your finger on it. So
Pay attention.
whatever you're doing, don't click on pop-ups or links, but go directly to the websites of the organizations you want to deal with.
Well, I think that's about it for the show today.
But we will be back in 2 weeks to talk about a variety of topics, including computer recycling and what you need to do to protect your data before you recycle. Yes, that's important. We'll also talk password managers and how they enhance your online security.
If you want to be updated when a new show is posted, you can subscribe to our e-newsletter by going to our website at www.compcorner.com. And when you do this, that is when you subscribe to our e-newsletter, you'll also get a digital coupon for a free computer diagnostic exam in Computer Corner Service Department.
And we are not going to bombard you with messages every day like
No.
Publishers Clearinghouse. We only send out our newsletter when we have something newsworthy to send out.
Correct.
And we hope that you'll think of Computer Corner for all your hardware, software, service, and training. Remember,
You get
More at the corner. Computer corner.
hey, until next time, mind your bits and bytes. This is Phil,
I'm Carol.
wishing you carefree computing. The Computer Corner show is logging off.